What is up, YouTube family? It is your girl GC the Trader, and we are back with another weekly breakdown, you guys. I hope y'all are having an amazing day. It is Sunday, April 26th, 2026, and we are here again, you guys, to break down my trading week. Excuse me if I sound a little funky. Had a long day yesterday. Didn't get as much rest, but we back up early, and we got to get to work and get this breakdown done, you guys. So as you can see from the thumbnail, we did have a red week this week, you guys, but it wasn't that bad of a red week. I'm not gonna tell you how much we lost, but I will tell you at the end of this breakdown, you guys. But it wasn't a lot, so not too much tripping. So yeah, not gonna take up too much of y'all Sunday. So yeah, let's get to it. I did trade every single day this week. I know I said last week I wasn't, but I did find a trade opportunity every day this week. Some of the trade opportunities may not have been so good, but we'll go over that when we get there, you guys. So as you can see, we are on micro NQ. We are on my 5 minute chart. It is Monday, April 20th. We did try to catch a setup. We actually took 3 trades, you guys. Not too proud of that. I did not want to take 3 trades, but got caught up in that Monday madness that the market brings in after a weekend. And yeah, I just got lost in the sauce and got used as liquidity on this day, you guys. So the first setup I took was longs. I liked longs. Let me turn my sessions back on so y'all can see why I like longs. I like longs because coming in, we was consolidating in the Asian, and we was consolidating in the New York. I mean, in the London. My apologies. But I did mark up this zone right here that formed at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Well, at 8 a.m. New York time, which would be like 7 a.m. my time. And as you can see, price did give a little chop here, but when it broke out in a nice breakout, I liked it that. And when our New York did open up, I like that it did break through my London high, which was right here. So that was enough confirmations that I needed in that moment to go with buys, only because when London session opened up, we did take out that Asian high, and we still had our Asian low. We still had our London low intact. So price was showing me that, hey, I wanted to buy. So I started to look for a buy setup. I waited for price to come back and retest the zone I marked up. I noticed that it was a 5 minute right here. So once price tapped into that my apologies, once price tapped into that 5 minute, I entered at the break of my candle, as you can see, you guys, and the trade was doing great. I think I ended up hitting just under my 1-to-1. I was risking 2 contracts of, well, I was risking 1 contract of $151, and well, no, 2 contracts, my apologies, 2 contracts of $151, and price rejected right at my 149 mark. So a little like the littlest bit under my 1-to-1. I did not adjust my stop loss to break even at that time. I wanted price to give me one more push up before I adjusted my stop loss, but as you can see, that push did not come, and price ended up stopping me out right here, you guys, and ended up taking a loss, which was a little bit more due to slippage. Ended up taking a loss of $165, 65 even. So yeah, you guys, this was the first trade idea that I did take Monday. It was an L. So yeah, I decided to just, okay, we may be selling off. So I did hop in kind of abruptly on this one, and the reason why I say I kind of hopped in a little abruptly is because I didn't really wait for price to give me that strong bearish momentum that I was looking for, because when we did invalidate this, I was like, okay, we are selling. I didn't necessarily wait for price to invalidate my zone right here. I just waited for, literally the slightest of sell opportunity I've seen. I entered in, you guys, and as you can see right here, it resulted in your girl catching a L right here. I believe this was my third trade, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this was my third trade where it was only like $73. But before this trade, I forgot to mark it. But before this trade, I did have another loss that went into shorts of $96, and end up taking that loss right up in here, you guys. Like, I went in for the sell right when price like did this move, and then as you can see, it came up immediately, stopped me out, invalidated me. So yeah, went back into buys after I lost in this sell, and boom, this bearish candle right here ended up stopping me out. So yeah, you guys, we took 3 L's back to back. That last one was $73.50. So each time I took a loss, I did lose a little less, but I just should have stopped after that second L. Honestly and truly, after that $96 short L, I should have just stopped, because when I reversed back into longs, that's when I got lost in the sauce and ended up losing immediately. I think I was only in that other trade for like 32 seconds before it decided to go ahead and stop me out. So yeah, you guys, on Monday we ended up taking a total loss of $345. So yeah, Monday was brutal. Monday was a very, very brutal day for us, you guys, but that's neither here nor there. I journaled and just went with what I went with. Didn't too much, allow it to affect me. It was the beginning of the week. So yeah, just had to get my mind together and get myself back right for the rest of the week. Okay. So let's go to Tuesday, you guys. I said I took a trade every day. So this was Tuesday. Knock this out. I took this trade during London session. I did not trade New York. I had clients on Tuesday, so I really couldn't trade New York, so I decided to go ahead and trade London. So yeah, coming in, I noticed that price had broke through my Asian high. So once price broke through my Asian high, and I saw that my Asian low was still intact, there was a nice 15-minute zone. There was two 15-minute zones that I had marked up that I had liked, and once price gave me that break and gave me a 5-minute demand zone, I entered at the break of my retest candle on that zone. This is where I entered at on my paper account. This is where I ended up entering at on my actual funded account. I wanted price to break the most recent high before I entered, only because I needed to see if price was going to be able to get back past that Asian high, if that makes sense. Like, I could have entered right here like I did on my paper account. I entered on my paper account just to see which entry was the better entry, and then I took a more conservative entry on my funded accounts. So I entered about right here on my paper account. Yeah, I entered about right here in my paper account. Once price got close to getting back to that Asian high that it had broke through, and then once it actually broke that Asian high, I decided to enter in, and as you can see, price is doing great. I ended up getting stopped pretty quickly on this trade. Let me make sure to see just how many contracts I had. I think I only had one contract, if I'm not mistaken. No, so I went in a little heavy on this trade. I did 3 contracts. So I was risking about 75 ticks on 3 contracts. So if I'm not mistaken, that was probably about $100 and something. I really can't remember, but I was going to, let me get back. yeah, I wasn't going too heavy. I was just doing because we was in my London session, I wasn't trying to risk as much as I would have risked in New York, if that makes sense, because I know like London can have momentum, but I know like New York has the momentum to really take trades where they wanted to go. So I decided not to, have a big stop loss, big risk. I wasn't going for anything crazy, just 75 for 150. So I think on three contracts that would have been like $225 that I would have been walking away with. So I think I was only risking like 125 if I'm not mistaken on this trade for 225 or something like that. And as you can see, the trade was going good. I did trail pretty tightly. Ended up getting stopped on all three contracts, like right here. I think at like 50 ticks. That's where I ended up getting stopped at, and price ended up running for about 80 ticks. And yeah, ended up reversing just the slightest bit to come back and retest this zone. And yeah, my stop loss just wasn't in a good enough position. And your girl got stopped out uh, right up in here. You get what I'm saying? So even when price came down, if I would have held my stop loss at its full, I still would have got stopped out and took a full loss on this trade. I wasn't necessarily trying to have my stop loss all the way down here. Honestly, I feel like that's too big of a stop loss to have during London session when there really wasn't that much momentum, because that means I would have had to go for something like up here. And as you can see, price never even came up there. So I wasn't necessarily trying to have my stop loss underneath that zone. I just wanted it in a comfortable enough spot. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, and as you can see, after price did this very strong deep retracement, price ended up going back up in our favor and hitting full TP before it decided to reverse down and correct for the rest of London session, as you can see. So yeah, with this trade, I only took one trade, decided to walk away after that. He ended up walking away with $70.50 off of this trade. So it wasn't too big of a win. Definitely did not knock out as much as that Monday loss that I wanted to. But it was something. And yeah, it did suck watching this trade hit full TP, but yeah, it is what it is. We did make some money on this day, so couldn't be too mad. So let's head to Wednesday, you guys. Okay. So this is Wednesday. Let me double check to see how many trades I took on Wednesday. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe I only took one trade. But I went in on three contracts again on this trade, and as you can see, beautiful trade. Great entry, just all around great trade. We did not hit our full TP on this trade, you guys, but I will explain that. So coming into my session, I did trade a little bit of London and New York mixed together. I entered into this trade during London. This trade ended up finishing out when the New York session was in the go. So coming in, I had a M30. I noticed that price did break through that Asian high. I like that. Still had my Asian low intact. We did go into a consolidation, but once price gave us that M30, it gave a nice push off that M30. It also gave me a 5-minute order block that was right within and a little bit above my M30. I like that as well. Price came up, gave me a nice higher high, came down, broke through that order block, but I wasn't necessarily tripping on that because we did have an M30 and we did have a slight gap right here. So, I kind of expected price to invalidate this, but this was just giving me that extra buy momentum that I needed. Once price rejected my order block, invalidated my order block, I noticed that it was rejecting off of the midpoint of my M30. So that was enough confirmation that this zone was strong. It was also bouncing off of a M5 that formed within that M30. So I like that it was strong rejections off of those areas. So I told myself once price breaks back through my zone, and not just through my zone, but breaks back through that order block, I was going to enter. I entered risking 3 contracts of 100 ticks for 200 ticks. So I was just going for $300, nothing too crazy. You get what I'm saying? And Price did this amazing, beautiful, 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 beautiful push. Once we got to this, what is this? Ooh. Once we got to this bearish order block right here, you guys, I decided to sell off 2 contracts and adjusted my stop loss on my third contract just to where I felt comfortable. I didn't necessarily know that price would reject that strongly. Now, y'all, this is not the candle that stopped me out. The candle that stopped me out, let me see. I ended up getting stopped out of my last contract at like 820. So, where was it? Yeah, you guys, it was this candle right here that stopped me out. This was the candle right here, you guys, that ended up stopping me out. It wasn't this candle. It wasn't this candle. It was this candle right here that stopped me out. This candle happened so fast that I still had my stop loss all the way down here when I decided to go ahead and sell off 2 contracts. But price was already after I sold off those contracts, price was already moving so fast that I decided not to adjust my stop loss. I decided to keep my stop loss at its full risk just because I still had faith in the trade. And then once price gave me this strong candle right here, that is when I adjusted my stop loss to right here. And then that's when price came down, invalidated. Well, came down, stopped me out just to go in my favor, you guys. Hit full TP and then complete reverse just to go back up. This was a crazy day. I seen all of this happen live. So this was a crazy, 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 crazy day. A lot of people lost, but a lot of people won, especially if they waited to after this. I felt comfortable trading this up and down action only because I did not know NQ was about to get ready to produce this at 9:30. You get what I'm saying? It's been a lot of market manipulation going on. If all of my traders out there, you already know. So yeah, I did not expect NQ to do this so early on, but hey, it is what it is. Definitely thought that 9:30 was going to be a continuation, not this deep correction and then continuing, but it did still keep that M30 valid even when it came down and gave this candle. M30 was still valid, so this was still a good enough zone for you to take a trade off of. Honest and truly, if you wanted to wait for more confirmation, you could have waited for price to pass here. Put your stop loss at probably about 150. You ain't gotta go nothing too crazy. And then yeah, could have caught you a nice little scalp. You get what I'm saying? Nice little push. So yeah, that's what we did on what's this, Wednesday, you guys. Oops, sorry about that. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, that's what we caught on Wednesday, you guys. Those first 2 contracts, I ended up closing out at $144. I wanted to close out a little quicker than that, but Top Step sometimes be exiting you out your trade before it actually hits your order. It'd be weird. Like I think it was at like 150, and it ended up taking me out like at 146. So yeah, and then I ended up getting stopped out at my third contract at like $30. So we ended up walking away for the day with $174. So yeah, on Wednesday we walked away with $174. So was able to knock out a little bit more of that red day that we had on Monday, you guys. So yeah, was able to make some nice little money on Wednesday. Only traded for probably a total of about 45 minutes. So $170 in 45 minutes isn't too bad. So let's go to Thursday, you guys. All right, Thursday I did take 2 trades. That's my normal trade day, Thursday, 2 trades. I did take a London session trade. I liked it, so I decided to enter into that trade. Let me just double check exactly how many contracts I entered in on that one when I entered in. I entered in on 2 contracts. I was going for 200, so I believe I was risking $100. Two contracts of yeah, two contracts of 100 ticks. So yeah, I was risking about $100 on this, and as you can see, price did beautifully. It did beautiful. You know what I'm saying? This was a 15 minute, had a 5 minute in it. Wasn't necessarily expecting for price to tap this 5 minute, especially once I saw it created me a gap. I just really waited for price to retest that gap, and then once price retested that gap, it did tap into my 15 minute, but I wanted it to break through another 15 minute that had formed right on top of it. So once price broke through that second 15 minute zone that formed on my first 15 minute, that's when I entered. And price did great. It did a great push. It ended up selling two contracts at $61. I actually thought it would be sold off at 100, but TopStep did the same BS it did again, and it took me out $40 lesser than where I had my order to be filled at. So it took me out a little less than what I wanted to. So ended up closing those one of those contracts out at $61, and then did have my stop loss right above this bullish order block that formed, and as you can see, price came in barely, I mean, probably two ticks away from retesting my entry point, but never hit my entry point and came up and hit full TP, as you can see, you guys. So the better stop loss position would have been right at break even, but yeah, I decided to put it where I put it, and that's what happened. Ended up getting stopped out of that last contract at $11. So for this first trade, it was probably about $72 that I made. Decided to take another setup, but this time I said I was going to wait until New York opened up. And the crazy thing is, y'all, I seen this trade happening. I seen price uh, bounce off of this 5 minute bullish order block right here. Was going to enter once price broke this candle. I said no. I said I was going to wait until New York opened up to take my second trade. I didn't want to take two trades during London. Even though this trade was beautiful, I wanted to enter so bad, and I would have hit the full TP I was going for. Because I believe I said if I would have entered this trade, I definitely would have went for about 350 to 400. And as you can see, we hit the 400 mark very, very nicely, even went past it a little bit. And if I would have took this trade, I would have been done with my session way before anything. But I decided to let that trade play out and said I was going to wait for New York, like I said. New York gave a strong rejection off of this 15 minute. I had a order set on my paper account. That's why you could see this trade right here. But I did not have it set on my actual funded account. So when I realized that, and I realized that I was only in this trade on my paper account, I decided to get out of this trade on my paper account and wait for a better entry to get in on my funded account. So as you can see, once price gave me that momentum and bypass and broke the high of the most recent candle in front of it, I decided to enter. As you can say, we did have a heavy drawdown to begin with, and we just went into a consolidation and literally just got used as liquidity on this one. I was risking one contract of 200 ticks, so that would have only been $100, and I was going for 400, so that would have been $200. So that's what I was going for, and as you can see, literally used me as liquidity. Didn't go no further than where my stop loss was. Hit that midpoint, and all she wrote. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think we did hit the full 400. Let me see. I think we did hit the full 400, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit under 400. So, uh, yeah, ended up taking a full loss on this trade, you guys. I think the full loss of this one, this was $100, so I took a loss on that one. And yeah, that was my two trades for that day. Took a L, well, a slight win, during London, and then I took a L during New York, and decided after I took this L, I noticed that my M15 zone was still valid. I saw that it rejected once again off of my midpoint of that zone. So I decided to take a paper trade. I said I was going to follow my rules today, and I did not enter into another trade. So I said at the break of the candle, I was going to enter, and I had the order set on my paper count. As you can see, when price broke, it tapped me into the order. We did have a little drawdown, but as you can see, price hit full TP. That would have been $450, and that would have been all she wrote. And this was the better setup. This was the better area that I should have waited for. Even gave me a 5 minute right here that it did respect, did not invalidate. And yeah, so I did wait to New York, but I didn't wait to a better for a better setup during New York. Literally, that 9:30 open is what ended up killing this trade. If I would have kept my stop loss at 250, because the crazy thing, y'all, my stop loss is at 250. I think I was risking like 125, but when price did come back to my midpoint, I did decided to just my stop loss to 200, just take off 50 ticks, and taking off that 50 ticks is what actually kind of lost me this trade. If I would have kept my stop loss at the 250 mark, still would have been in this trade, and hey, would have did good. Wouldn't have hit as much as over here, but definitely would have hit something right here. But I just marked this trade up and kept it marked because I did take this on my paper account, and I just wanted to show y'all where the better trade came during on Thursday during the New York session. So we ended up walking away on that day with a loss of $28.68. So yeah, we wasn't too bad of a loss on Thursday. So couldn't be too upset about that. Only losing $28. That's not bad. So let's go to Friday, you guys. That was the last day. And let's go. So Friday, yeah, I did take 3 trades. I didn't want to, but I did. Only because the first 2 losses was on me. And yeah, I couldn't accept losing because of BS I did. Honestly, like if it was me losing just because the market did what the market wanted to do, then that's fine. But me losing because I did some childish shit or did some dumb shit, I'm not okay with accepting that all the time. Like for me, and I know y'all say that's not good. You can't accept losing. It's not that I can't accept losing. I can't accept losing if I'm the cause of it. And I feel like if I'm the cause of it, I have to find a better setup of me following my rules. Or at least try. You get what I'm saying? Because then that proves to me that you do know how to trade. You were just doing some dumb stuff during that moment. So whenever I make dumb mistakes, I try my hardest to get myself together, realign, refocus, and see if I can find a better setup like I know I can. You get what I'm saying, you guys? So this is the first trade I took after the 9:30 open, and as you can see, just thought it was a great trade. Actually, what zone was this, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, this was an M15 and an M30. Um, Gave me a nice 5 minute off of it. I just liked it. You get what I'm saying? I just liked it. Um, Entered once price broke the most recent high, and as you can see, just complete drawdown. Thought we was still good when I marked up this 5 minute and noticed that it was respecting it, especially once it hit that strong rejection at that midpoint. But as you can see, no, just came and just invalidated this zone, but it did tap into a 1 hour. So I was like, okay, it's rejecting strong off of that 1 hour. I think I had a 4 hour, a M15, and an M30 all down here. So I was like, okay, it's rejecting off of that hour, which is great. So boom, I had another 5 minute because this is my 1 minute. All of these was 1 minute entries, you guys. So boom, had a 5 minute. Let me reverse. Once I lost this trade, I realized that I entered before the break of structure. So that L was on me. That was 125, $125. I only did one contract starting in. It was Friday, so I only did one contract of $250. So I ended up taking a $125 loss on this trade, but kept my mind back together, kept my focus. Price tapped into this 1 hour. As I said, I had a fair value gap right here that price respected and then gave me a nice push. Once price broke that 5 minute, I decided to enter again. This time I was only risking one contract of 200 ticks, so only $100. And as you can see, price broke through the last strong resistance that it had from this loss, from this trade loss, and price broke through it, was doing great. Then it started showing strong rejections, and then we just reversed and tapped into this 1 minute, but we never invalidated my 5 minute. So this loss was $92. I ended up cutting my loss a little short, didn't take the full loss because I kind of already knew what was about to go on, but price tapped into this 1 minute, but never invalidated my 5 minute. So I was like, okay. I said, these two losses is on me because this trade, again, you guys did not have a breaker structure. So I entered before the breaker structure. So it was doing minor breaker structures, but it wasn't a full breaker structure. So I entered again and I was like, okay, this is your second time entering before the breaker structure. And it's like, that loss is on you. So boom, notice my 5 minute showing me bullish momentum, tapped into this 1 minute, gave me another 1 minute, created a fair value gap. I like that. Gave another 1 minute right here. So I said, boom, price taps into this 1 minute. I saw it rejecting off of this 1 minute bullish order block. I said, if price breaks it, I'm entering. I entered a little quickly. On this trade, I went in a little heavy. I did two contracts. So I did two contracts of 100 ticks. So I would have lost 100 ticks if this trade did not go into my favor. And then once price passed a most recent high, I added two more contracts. So now I'm in this trade heavy. I'm in this trade for 4 contracts, you guys. Once price got to a point, I wanted to sell off because this loss is like at 250 something right now, you guys. So I had an order set to close 2 contracts at $250. Well, no, those 2 losses ended up totaling to $200. That's what it was. Ended up totaling to $200, these 2 losses. So I had an order set to close out 2 contracts at $200, you guys. Where do you think TopStep closed me out at? Exactly, right before it closed me out at $189, you guys. So yeah, still had a little loss that I had to cover from those other 2 trades I took. So now after closing out 2 contracts at $189, I now still had like a 30 something dollar, 20 something dollar loss I still had to cover. So once I noticed that, I ended up adjusting my stop loss to about 50 ticks. About 50 ticks. That means that'll be probably like 30 something dollars or something like that, because I have 2 contracts now, you guys. So I was like, okay, that'll be like 35, 20 something dollars. So I didn't know what NQ was going to do. Mind you, I'm on the 1 minute too, you guys. So you already know when you trade on the 1 minute, you have a little bit more deeper retracements than if you was on the 5 minute. So I ended up adjusting my stop loss right here. Once I closed out these 2, I ended up adjusting my stop loss to about right here, you guys. And this was the candle that came to stop me out. And it ended up stopping me out at like $55. So that $55 covered that loss. Plus, because I had 2 contracts, so it was $55 at 50 something ticks. So it ended up taking out that little bit of the loss I had for those other 2 trades, and then ended up allowing me to walk away with a profit of, let me see, you guys, $19.56. I did trail tight on this one only because, like I said, we was on a 1 minute, did not know if NQ was going to go all the way back up to all-time highs. You get what I'm saying? Because after I seen it not being able to get to, because that's what my take profit was on those first 2 trades, was the all-time highs. So when I saw that NQ wasn't really getting up to those all-time highs, again, I decided not to be greedy, and I said I'm gonna trail and at least cover my stop losses, at least cover my losses that I took previously, because it's kind of like, honestly, on this day, you guys, I did break my rules. I took a third trade, but I told myself the only way I would take a third trade is if it gave me a break of structure. And it gave me a break of structure. So it's like I technically broke my rules, but I broke my rules in a, how can you say it, a structured sense. It wasn't me just breaking my rules because of this. It was me breaking my rules once I got certain, you get what I'm saying, confirmations. So it was kind of like I broke my rules. Why would I keep my stop loss all the way down here? And what if that means, price comes down there and stops them out and I still end up walking away red for the day? And it's kind of like, oh, well, she didn't want to walk away on red. It's not that I didn't want to walk away on red. I'm not trying to break my rules to still have a red day. It's kind of like, if you're going to break your rules, at least walk away with a win. So that's what I was doing. I'm like, if I'm going to go in on this third trade, I'm going to make sure if NQ tries to do some crazy stuff, that at least I'm walking away with a green day. I don't have to walk away with a green week. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to sit here and just knock out every loss I had this week. But it's like, if I'm breaking my rules today, at least break your rules and make some money. Don't break your rules and still lose money, because then what was the point of you breaking your rules? So that's how I felt in this situation when I adjusted my stop loss where it was. And as you can see, your girl got uses liquidity, and because originally my stop loss was down here, right here. So that's where I probably should have kept it. But I told y'all my logic behind why I moved my stop loss. Did not know NQ was going to go higher. Damn sure didn't know NQ was going to go back and make more all-time highs. So yeah, did not know NQ was going to do all this. I was trading based off of what I was seeing in that moment, and this was a lot of rejection. So I just didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if price was going to come back and grab this, come back and grab this zone. So it was just a lot. So I just wanted to prepare myself, no, properly protect myself and secure the profits I needed to secure, you guys. So yeah, Friday we took 2 L's, 1 W. This total amount on this trade ended up being, that I walked away with on this trade, I would say about 200 and about 230 some dollars, 240 some dollars that I made on this trade. So was definitely able to knock out those two losses. Even though I broke my rules, I was proud of myself, because it showed me that I can get my mind back together and I could still catch a very, very, very good setup. You get what I got? You get what I'm saying, you guys? So yeah, that was Friday. Walked away with $19.56. Did have a red week. Red week ended up being $117.72. So we lost a little over $100, you guys, which is really not bad. Definitely went from a greater loss that we would have had on Monday. So yeah, wasn't really trying to end the week green. Once I did these two foolish trades right here, entering before the breaker structure, I just really wanted to end my day green. I didn't even really care about, ending the week green. I just wanted to end my day green, and I was able to do that, and I'm happy about that. So yeah, red week, we did end up breaking our green week streak. Week 2 of April, we had a green week of $318.64. Week 3, green week, we ended up ending that week with $462.18. So week 4, we got a red week. It's okay. You get what I'm saying? We did break our green week streak, but we're still up $619.90 for the month, you guys. So yeah, we may have had a red week, but that red week did not knock out our month's worth of profits. You get what I'm saying, you guys? So you're gonna have red weeks. As long as your red weeks isn't knocking out your monthly balance, you're good. You're trading good. So yeah, you guys, we got one more week left in April. 4 more days actually, because on Friday that'll be May 1st. Yeah, you guys, let's have an amazing last week of April. Let's end this week great. You get what I'm saying? Let's end this week with profits. Let's not do nothing crazy. We already know how the end of the month can be, how the price action could be, only because they don't want y'all getting them payouts. You already know how it be. So let's just trade smart. Let's trade strategically. Let's pass these funded accounts. Let's get these payouts. And let's become the traders that we've always wanted to be, you guys. So thank y'all for sitting down with me. Thank y'all listening to me rant and go over my trades. I really, really, really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. Any suggestions as far as how y'all want me to take my content, please let me know. I'm open to it. And yes, I thank y'all. I love y'all. And until next time, your girl GC the Trader is out.